just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't change for other people.
But
Because
change for yourself.
change for yourself, lah. Change for who you
yeah.
want to be or what you want to do.
But don't change
But
for
don't
other
change
people.
for other people.
Welcome to the Authentic Advisory Podcast. And in today's show, we have Geraldine. Or Geri. Hi, Geri.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for taking your time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I know you came back from Bali, was it?
Bali.
Yeah. What were you doing there?
Diving, hanging out with my friends. And friends were there for a wedding, yeah. Then just chill lah, yeah.
Was it like you look like 10 shades darker?
Yeah, I tan them easily. So it's a good experience. I haven't been back since before COVID.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's quite different.
I thought you had one for like, is it with the agency one? Was
No,
it?
that's Langkawi. Yeah, I keep going to like beachside destinations.
Yeah.
That's one I have
Even
to-
your Zoom background was like, remember the first video I see, like Zoom background was
Yeah.
like literally like the beach.
Yeah, I'm still supposed to go for one in Phuket because Prue had this thing going on. Yeah. So, don't know, open dated, haven't decided.
Yeah.
But it has to be this year.
Oh, is it? Oh wait, so
Because it was last
means
year's
what? Like,
incentive.
you can get to choose to go Phuket by yourself.
Yeah, so 3-day, 2-night kind of thing. Then they cover your flights and accommodation and
Oh, that's
breakfast. Then
What's the
Yeah.
is there a money value packed to like what kind of hotels or like to the
it is a specific hotel. I think it's 4 Points Sheraton, if I'm not
Oh,
wrong.
that's
Yeah.
decent. That's
So,
decent.
Then
That's
flight
decent.
is SQ. So
Oh, okay.
it's very
That's okay.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phuket.
Yeah, Phuket. Yeah.
Damn. So,
So-
but it has to be the trip has to be done like this year.
This year. Because it was last year's Q4 incentive. Yeah.
Right.
So I have been delaying it actually.
When are you going?
When?
Yeah.
Probably in October, November. I don't know. I feel like I've been.
You'll be like
I don't want to
traveling-
say. Yeah, I was just looking at it. I had like 9-10 trips already this year.
9, 10
And I already,
trips.
and by the way, I already encashed quite a few, I thought. Like,
No, where did you go? Okay, so there's obviously the Bali.
I
And
did
then I
my
think went
silent
Taiwan.
retreat, remember?
Oh, yeah. Silent or asylum?
Silent.
Silent retreat. We
I
can talk
need
about
to
that.
enunciate silent. Yeah.
Yeah, not like you have mental health issues. But then
Yeah.
again, if you go for silent retreat,
They said that they can't cure mental health issues, but people who have had mental health issues have gone there, then they ended up better.
you had a
Yeah.
mental health issue?
Not that
Do
I
you?
know of.
No, right? Yeah, but
Maybe I do. I don't know.
yeah. Then after that, okay. Then what else? Desaru.
Desaru. Okay
Where
lah.
would you go
Yeah. Desaru a few times actually.
A few times.
JB don't count lah.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
okay,
Then
yeah.
what else? Taiwan, Macau,
Macau. Yeah. Okay.
Thailand, Bali. My gosh,
Jesus.
KL.
KL.
Yeah.
What are you doing in KL?
Just fun trip. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Was it a birthday? Yeah. Just fun
It
trip.
looks like you really like your freedom. Huh? Do you like to
Yeah.
travel, or you just like the freedom to like be at different places?
Good question. Maybe it's like revenge traveling.
Really?
I think I do like to explore places. Yeah, in general.
Okay.
And yeah, freedom is important, but not like I can drop things anytime and go kind of freedom. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm thinking about it now, lah. But freedom, just time to myself and yeah.
Yeah. So like, was time flexibility or like the freedom of getting to do whatever you want on a daily basis, was that like the main reason why you joined also? Or was it part, or was it something that is not really a big thing for you when you first joined? I mean, how many years? You're like what, 4th year? No,
Now for just crossed my 3rd year.
I just crossed the 3rd year, right?
Yeah.
Just finish your
Just finished my
finish your
3rd
3rd
year.
year. So it's
yeah.
your 4th year, right?
Yes.
In-
Holy shit, damn
yeah.
fast, yeah.
improve, right? So you think
Yeah.
about like 4 years ago, like what was the main reason like why you joined? What were you doing anyway? You were doing like copywriting or something? You were writing
Financial editor.
financial editor
Yeah.
for
Maybe I shouldn't say it.
okay, yeah, okay.
No, but I
Maybe-
was working in like fintech, like essentially.
Fintech, yeah, okay. So okay,
Content
okay,
marketing.
yeah, this one anyone listening, you can ask
Yeah,
Geri
yeah.
yourself, okay? So we shall not disclaim.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
give it a-
Quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did that, and then like what's the reason like why you joined anyway?
Okay, so my pathway has always been like a writer. So I used to do radio commercials. So actually, like
Radio
Yeah, I didn't tell you.
What?
Yeah, I
No,
used,
you-
we'll do this kind of like
legit.
yeah, but podcast very rare. Only more so when I was leaving.
What
Yeah.
is a radio commercial? Like advertisement?
Yeah, advertisements for all kinds of brands. Quite fun. So I will write our script out, then I'll produce. So we'll pick the DJs to like, you know,
Oh,
like
legit.
enact it out. It's quite fun, yeah.
Legit.
Then sometimes if we are bored or have time, then we'll record Foley.
Yeah.
So it's like sound effects lah. Yeah.
So okay, so then what made you join though?
This career.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was quite jaded with my progression, like in general. It wasn't really like a freedom thing. It was just more of I feel okay. I just told someone this yesterday. I feel like okay, sure, I may not be like the best writer or best editor, but I'm for sure not the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why are like things like my basic needs or wants so difficult to achieve? You know, things in Singapore are already very expensive, right?
Yeah.
Like buy house, whatever. I'm not the kind who like I need a car or whatever. I don't even need to go to like what I don't know, Canada or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to like chill and live my life. But there's that. Then there's the sense of progression as well. Like writer, senior writer, then editor, then what content, head of content,
Right.
whatever,
Yep.
you know, then to what end and what's the kind of future that I'm looking at. So that one I was always okay to like write it out. But because of like certain corporate structures, then I got quite jaded. So things like maybe toxic bosses, or maybe you don't get along with your manager, or maybe company like restructure, or maybe you're doing well, but they can't promote you because someone's been there like
Oh, okay.
for 10 years, that
But
kind
how
of
long were you
situation.
there? Like you know,
In
when the
corporate,
contract. Yeah.
5 years.
Oh wow.
So it was
okay.
like not very long, but I think good enough for me to see like to think about my future. And there were things that I wanted to achieve before like 30. And I just felt that if I stayed in the same situation, I wouldn't progress. So that's always been there, but I never really thought about it until I had a very toxic work situation where it was so bad that I was just like, okay, fuck it. I need to leave for the sake of my mental health.
Yeah.
I am confident I'll find a job.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So then that was also the time when we had circuit breaker. I don't know, I just have queen of like poor decision making.
Right. Okay.
So quite a few things lah. I think things in my personal life as well, which made me realize, shit, like money is quite important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that period of time, I was unemployed about 6 months. I had little to no savings. I mean, like liquid cash. And also I applied to over 80 jobs.
80.
80, yeah.
80.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Like that was the
that was
basically
like the
circuit breaker.
COVID.
COVID
Yeah.
2020.
2020, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
2020. I left
80.
around Feb or March, I think.
Damn.
Yeah. Then for about 6 months, I was unemployed. It was like one of the darkest periods of my life. Like,
Do you have like enough like emergency funds at the point in time? Or
no,
like,
man.
No.
Okay, so even before that, I've been quite an advocate of financial literacy. I always knew like you have to get your shit done.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be like my parents. Like, I don't need to like be freaking rich, but I just want to know what I should make the most of, especially since I'm young. Yeah. So I always wanted to start a side business, that kind of thing. I wouldn't just work a full-time job. I'll have a side job as well. So that was kind of my mentality. I had my insurance, my investments going on already. But yeah, I'm very lean on cash. So I will like max nothing more than 5K in my bank kind of thing. Yeah. So obviously in that period of time, can't go out, very depressing. And I didn't have a good relationship with my parents. So like staying in was also not good. Like I have no day, no night, no nothing. And then applying for 80 jobs, it really took a toll on me.
Right. What do you apply? Or what industries? It's
Similar.
similar.
Yeah, crypto, whatever, everything. Then even yeah. Then my consultant is actually my primary school friend.
Okay.
So she, one of the times when we met up for a yearly review, I had to delay because I had like some issue at work lah. And then when I eventually met up with her, like basically my boss had like a temper thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when I met up with her, it was like really late, but she stayed. Then she waited for me and she just, usually in our, like their style of fact finding, they have like, they ask you about your goals and stuff. So she just asked me, actually, what are your plans for your future? And I didn't really, I always knew that was the idea. Then she asked me, actually, have you considered becoming a financial consultant since you have sort of a background in personal finance?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I said, no, I'm not going to do sales. So that was that, right? Then she was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, sure, okay. Then she just left it at that.
Okay.
And then she did invite me to meet the team and stuff, but I was just not interested. Because to me, there's no reason to meet them. But in the process of going through 80 job applications, I realized that, prepping and going for interviews, right, is like a process of selling yourself. You have to get the
Yeah.
buy-in from your prospective employer. You have to show that you have some kind of like value or worth.
Yeah.
Then eventually they have to agree for your services, pay you a certain fee or price lah, like whatever you're asking for. And I was like so done. I was just like, shit, actually this is sales also.
Mm.
Then I
How many interviews you went for? So that applied 80 over, then like how
Wah.
many interviews? Like
30, at least 30, yeah.
holy shit.
And they were
30.
mostly online back then because of the situation.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
super exhausting
Ah,
and
damn.
draining. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that. Then funnily enough, okay, because I will always do freelance stuff, right?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the only freelance jobs that like boomed in that period were basically content requests from advisors.
Ah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
everybody's going social, like online, right? Because like, they
Everyone was
can't.
going social.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
was like, I need
Yeah.
something to have a
Yeah,
touch point with my
yeah.
client. So it's like COVID survival guide, like how to what, or like maybe this agency wants to create like a guidebook or whatever. And then I was doing it, and I was just like, oh, okay. Then I asked my friend about it. I was like, hey, you guys do this kind of things? And she's like, yeah, actually, in this business, you are pretty much self-employed. That I didn't know. And second thing is you can choose how
Like
you
you
want.
knew you were self-employed?
I didn't know.
Oh, you thought it was like corporate.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was like biz dev. Then you.
Ah,
Actually, I never
okay.
think so much about it, to be honest. I just didn't think that it was self-employed, you know.
Right,
And my
okay.
idea of self-employed, like business owner self-employed,
Ah, okay.
that really got me. Yeah. And then the second thing that really got me was the skill to do sales, but not sales like I traditionally knew it, because that was quite like, to me it was like a dirty word.
Yeah.
Sales like how should I say, influence, persuasion, or like the art of storytelling. And I was just like, hey, actually I should know this. If it's something I need to learn, then I should learn. So I'm quite a practical person. Finance is something I have to know anyway. So when I learned more about it, I realized, hey, actually this career is quite interesting because I can do whatever I want. I can still literally do the same content. I can write about whatever I want to do. And that can be like my content marketing for my services. And I don't answer to anyone. I don't worry if I'm going to get fired. I don't worry if I get promoted or what.
Yeah.
If I want to earn more, I work hard and nobody's going to say, hey, you don't deserve this. So yeah, that's pretty much what got the ball rolling.
Yeah. And then when
Yeah.
you join, like, so for your first year, like how was it? Because like, you know, when in 2020 I was like, you know, meeting a lot of advisors as well.
Okay.
It was very tough for them, right? It was very tough, especially like the funny thing is that, you know, there are like more seasoned advisors, people who have not experienced COVID before, you know, and they're doing their business.
Yeah.
And then there's another group of advisors that like you just joined
Yeah.
the industry during COVID, right? Like
Yeah.
literally right at the start. So at least when I talk to people, talk to advisors, right? The ones that have prior experience, like more seasoned, right?
Yeah.
Are usually the ones that are struggling more, right? So like the new ones are kind of like, you know, kind of like still okay. So I don't know, like, is that the same for you? How was your experience like first year? Was it like super tough, or was it like actually it's okay?
In the context of COVID, right? Like everything being digital and stuff, it was no issue to me because I didn't know of the advisory world before COVID.
Yeah,
So to me, like all the DocuSign, Zoom, and whatever, it was
okay.
the norm.
Yeah, okay. No, because like
Yeah.
last time when I first started this business, like the
Yeah.
advisors were coaching were like 6 months, 3 months INF. So they obviously like they just joined during COVID times. Yeah, and they didn't have the kind of struggle as advisors who are more like seasoned per se, you know. And I don't know why at that point in time, but now I think back, I think it's maybe just like sometimes just need to let go of. It's hard
Yeah,
to
you
change and
do.
let go of what used to work last time.
It's like baby boomers born without the computer and stuff.
Yeah,
And
I think it's just
digital
hard.
natives.
Yeah, I think it's just very hard. I think it's just so hard.
Yeah.
You know, at that point in time. Yeah, so like your first year, you know, was it how like you got the MDRT in when? Like was it first year or like
First full year.
First full year, right?
Because I joined around this time now, right?
This time
This time 2020. So August, September, October, no, 5 months.
Yeah.
Then the next year I did my MDRT.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Right. So
So-
during your first 5 months, how was it? Like what
Wow.
is your
Like just starting.
yeah.
I think what I realized is that most new advisors will have a sort of momentum and like a freshness, like, oh yeah, I really want to like go damn hard and
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
So I kind of like wrote off that momentum. And to me, I honestly really, now that I look back, right, I honestly really didn't think so much. Just whatever I needed to do, I do. And I was exhausted lah, because there's like a million things to do.
Yeah.
Then I reached out. I did mostly, actually I only did warm, my first year, warm and referrals.
Oh, okay, warm and referrals only.
Only pure
So
warm
like
and
no
referrals.
cold whatsoever.
No, nothing. Like,
Okay.
if my managers told me reach out to, we do what, project 100,
Yeah, project
300,
100.
300
Oh,
actually.
yours is project 300.
Yeah.
Damn, okay, this one is like new.
And
Project 300.
yeah, but I guess to me the base conviction was strong enough. Like, yeah, it is. I saw it as a need and a service, and then I just asked. And in the process of it, of course, the rejections hurt. But after a while, I also realized if it's not for them, then it's not for them. Then I'll find someone that it's suitable for. It's not no hard feelings. So I just really went with that mentality. If it's a rejection, then I just like see, okay, why is there anything, or when's the next time I can reach out again, see if it's something
Right,
suitable
yeah.
for them. Exactly like that. So I just did that. I filled my calendar, and then yeah, that was it. It was very tough because I was not used to certain ways of working. Like, it's not 9 to 5 corporate.
Yeah.
Can't like shut off. So I have to get used to that. It was my
Ah,
journey of
okay.
discovering like how to manage the business.
Right.
Then it was a lot of things like being responsible for everything. Like, back then not so much claims first year, I think. It's more of like admin, follow up, your CRM. At least for me, I was very aware of these things because I came from that background.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't like to waste effort. If you get what I mean. I reach out already, then I need to like know how to continue from there.
Yeah, you really want to maximize like.
Yeah, I very
throughout
wasted.
the
Like, I already mustered up the courage to ask this guy, then
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
actually that's
you know?
true. Actually, that's a good way of thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good way of thinking because it's always like the inertial right at the start, right? The largest resistance we all have is the first text, that first
Yeah.
call,
Exactly.
right? That first message,
Mm.
right? Yeah, actually, yeah. Then usually after that, it's like it's a lot easier to
It
just
is
kind
a
of
lot,
like
yeah.
right? Yeah, actually that makes sense. Yeah. So
Yeah.
your idea is more like your thought process is more like, okay, since I already did the first initial barrier or like that
Yeah.
wall, and then the next step will be a lot easier, then might as well just carry on to maximize.
Actually, it's more on you, So I do have some friends who, as in the effect is more on yourself. So for me, because I'm quite rip the band-aid off, rip the plaster off, right? Don't like slowly peel or like wait until 10 days later then you want to take out. I did that, then I don't have any residual like feeling or thought in my head. Then don't take up your mental space. So I do have friends who, let's say from that time until now, they haven't had the courage to reach out. Can you imagine? It's 3 years of like mental. Like,
That's true.
should I reach out? Should I not? Oh my god, I ran into that guy. Then for me,
Mm.
I don't really have that. It's maybe like I reached out, the guy ignored me. Then now I ran into him. But like to me, it's like I already did what I could do. I did my
Right,
best.
okay.
So then I move on with you. Yeah.
Right.
And by now, I'm not even thinking about those kind of people already. So it's I don't know, I really just didn't think so much. And I needed the money also. So to me, all I just wanted to find out was if I'm in this career, can I make it or can I not? Because what's out there is not any better.
Was there a timeline that you gave yourself? Was it like, okay, I will give myself 6 months to try this out and make it work, and let's see how that goes from there? Or so was it more like I never really think, and let me just keep doing it until I don't know, run out of money or something?
Well, I never think so far. Like, I really never think so far, which is quite silly. So I never shop around for agency. I never really think so far. They say whatever I need to do, I just do. And then so far it has worked. So that's why I never really had to think about it. Like, I really didn't think so much. Like, they said, this career could open your network. It gives you fair remuneration based on what you work, and you don't really have to answer anyone. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I just did that.
Just go.
Yeah, and since then, because I realized the point, but since then, because it worked out for me, I just never really had to think otherwise.
Yeah, okay.
And I know why it worked out for me lah. I don't know about
Yeah.
other people, because I realized things like your values is very important. So when I reach out to like old friends or what, they remember me for who I was back then, what are the kind of things I do. And then it made me realize that, damn, your impressions really like last.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really. So I think that worked out in my favor.
Right.
Yeah. So Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah.
So you talk about, so that was like I think that was an important one actually. Like
Mm.
talk about values. I think reputation is always
Super.
yeah. The
Yeah.
different kind of assets. The more tangible ones are like your stock, shares, bonds, the
Yeah.
kind of assets, your
Yeah.
houses, whatnot. Yeah,
Mm.
but I think from an intangible standpoint, it's like brand is one. But the other cousin of that is really your reputation, right?
Mm.
I think having a good reputation is like one of the biggest asset.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is like about reputation is like once you tarnish it, it takes a ton of effort
Correct.
and years
Yeah.
to build it back up.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
might not even be 100% recovered in that sense because you
Yeah.
always have that
Yeah.
that that
And it will
image.
influence people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So okay. So then, what about those?
Yeah.
Maybe some colleagues or maybe some advisors you've met.
Mm.
There's some advisors like maybe in the past they weren't the
Best versions
best.
of
Yeah,
themselves.
correct,
Yeah.
right? So if let's say
They're
you have
there.
people, yeah, they are there, or like you have people like that, then what would you say like would help them to, I don't know, how to navigate around that,
Mm.
or rather through a mindset, because 100% they will be thinking, oh, last time when I was secondary school I was being a
Yeah.
dick to this person, but now
Yeah.
I know I can reach out to him, but then like I worry that he might think that I'm still a dick, which
Oh,
probably true, right? Because like if
yes, I agree.
the last impression that this person had of you is probably still the impression 10 years later, because like
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't change, right? Yeah,
Correct.
so
Correct. Okay, I would say two things, right? One, it takes time. You can't like, if you are impatient or you're rushing the process to like, oh, this person has to accept me like now, then it also says something about your values. You're not putting that person first. So it does take time. And two, you may never ever get the opportunity or chance to. And to me, I say, don't focus on that because you want to focus on those people who can see you in a new light again. Like you won't know, but it's not, what I put out there is not dependent on how others are going to receive me.
yeah.
I'll put it out because that's what I want to do based on my own, like, like I want to be a good person just because I want to be a good person. I don't want to be a good person just because I
You need to put
know,
it there. Yeah,
yeah, I
okay,
know that it
okay.
may change someone's mind about me
Right,
or what.
okay.
Like, so first and foremost, I think you have to know what is the kind of person you want to be. And second of all, if that's the kind of person you want to be, then it doesn't matter whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, or what for you to regain that trust with the person. If you regain, then that's great. If you don't, then and that person is already set on their impression of you, then it's just not, yeah, just
Yeah.
not, yeah. That's how I feel. I do meet like friends or advisors who like, oh yeah, if only back then I did this, or back then I stay in touch with my
Yeah,
friends or
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
If
Then,
only, right? Yeah.
but
But then the thing is like you never
you will never
never know that you're
know.
gonna be FA anyways, right? Like
Exactly. So my point is that with all the friends that I came in touch with, I didn't keep in touch knowing that one day I can ask something back from
yeah,
them.
yeah.
It's not like that. And the thing is that between then and now, the time when you realize, oh shit, it's important to have connections.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to build connections? And what is your reason for doing so? Is it so next time if you need to ask a favor or what from them, then it comes back, I feel.
Then what's
Yeah.
your reason though? Like if let's say you were to, because like back then you obviously
Yeah.
had no intention to be FA or whatsoever. So but then that's
Yeah,
you're being in a
never.
relationship. So what was the, if any,
Yeah.
what's the objective or intention of them being relationships? Was it like that's who you are, or was it like, okay, you know what, I just want to have more friends, maybe an event one day, regardless when that day
Right,
is and
right.
what you want. Yeah, like what was kind of like what was in it for you back then,
Wow.
at that point in time.
So I was a very, okay, first of all, in this career you have to be very intentional about building relationships. Back then I wasn't. But I was always okay, back then I was more of like someone I have 5 friends, 5 close friends in my life. We've been friends for 10 years. These are the only 5 friends I'll need for the rest of my life.
Okay.
But I would say I have been quite open in a sense. Like I will go for gatherings. I'll still go for like catch-ups and what. But just I don't know, just because I'm curious.
Right.
I did realize through the years that the kind of friends that I got closer with, or I somehow found a reconnection with, are those friends who, how should I say, they continuously reach out to you. So very interesting. Like I am not someone who will actively make a new friend. Like maybe if I go for a birthday party, I meet someone I really vibe with, I won't say like, hey, I really like you, let's hang out.
Okay.
I'll never do that.
Okay.
But people have done that with me, or like, you're just like, oh, let's hang out. Like there are certain personalities, they just like,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So then over the years, I like that they intentionally ask me out.
Right.
That they intentionally like value me as a person. And because of that, I set aside the time for them. And because this happened over a few times, it builds that relationship. And now they are like a friend.
Right.
Does it make sense? So for me, I just never been a close person. I think if someone makes the time to ask me for my time, and if they are not like always going to be late or like flaky or like talk bullshit or gossip,
Yeah.
then I'm actually quite open to just meet. It has to have some sort of like positivity and growth in that sense. Because there's nothing wrong. Like, who wouldn't want to meet someone new? It makes your day a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes your day, unless they're like every time we meet, then like you're
Yeah.
bitching about someone.
Yeah,
then
unless they're super
I
negative,
will
that's
know that
different.
I wouldn't hang out with them.
Okay.
Or like suddenly they ask to meet, then they wanna sell me MLM. It has happened to me before.
Yeah. Oh,
Then I'm like,
don't get me started, man. Like,
yeah.
oh
Then
my
obviously
God,
you don't want
yeah.
to get to know me for me.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know. I'm just like that. Like, if you want to have a coffee, you have coffee. Like, no strings attached. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you have to value that session. So this built up over time. And it was also these connections that I reached out to when I first started out.
Right.
So I am not a group person. I realized that I join a lot of things because I like to like learn and explore, right? And then I'll make like 1 or 2 friends, and it's all one-on-one relationships. Because I'm a bit more introverted.
Are you?
I think I'm functionally
Functional.
extroverted. Functionally extroverted.
Functionally extroverted.
But I wouldn't be like in a group. I wouldn't be like, hey, everyone like come
Yeah,
at me, like, kind of thing. But I will form 1 or 2 good, like I would say, very decent friendships. Like it's not superficial conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Conversations that have more depth.
More there or more big picture, you know. Then somehow because it's one-on-one, there's also more trust. So when I reach out, also I don't feel so like there's some basis already. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 months in, you did warm and referrals, right? And then like first year the MDRT, and then like have you like MDRT every single year since then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has your business model changed though? Like, so it was warm and referrals.
Yeah.
And then I think you did cold
Yes.
after that, right? Yeah. So like which year was it when you did cold, and like why do you venture out in cold to begin with?
Wow. I have been here for so long, Cause 2021, I think 2021 was my first full year was when I did co, or was it the later part of 2021? Okay, so 2020 I joined in August.
Yep.
Then maybe 2021 towards the tail end, I was like, oh, I don't know whether I have enough warm or my referrals are not coming in fast enough. But I never ever want to put that pressure on my clients. Like you know what I mean? You need to buy now, you need to refer,
okay. Just
you need to
because-
support me.
Right, because
Yeah.
of the sales target that you might want to hit.
So to me, that part is my effort.
Yep.
It's on me to reach out to more quality people or more people to increase my chances of winning. Yeah, in a sense. That is on me. Then maybe late 2021, 2022. Oh, I know what I did. 2021, I did a seminar. I started doing seminars. I think because that's when things opened up.
Oh, okay,
Partial restrictions were
that's
lifted.
slightly better.
So I did things like, I realized after meeting people that sometimes people face the same problems. Then I just think, oh, it's quite interesting to just like gather people. Good brand. I mean, from that opportunity, I saw a good chance for branding, good chance to create community, good chance to just like maybe 3 hours of my time by a crowd of 50. A very good like ROI, right, in that sense to touch base. Then I realized that I did maybe 2 more of that, and I tried to focus on topics that were like different from other advisor. I think when your first few years, you always want to say like, oh, I'm not like any other advisor.
There's this chip off the shoulder. There's always this chip on the shoulder where okay, I'm not like the rest. Okay, I get it.
So I focus more on like LGBTQ issues. You know, they cannot buy house. I focus more on like things like your relationship with money.
Okay.
Because traditional advisors just say, oh, you got this shortfall, you need to put more. So then that built very interesting conversations. Then by the end of my first year, I was just like, wow, not sustainable because I don't know how to bring in fast enough. So I explored what we call marketing campaigns. Basically, you put like ads or things out there, then you meet people. And surprisingly, it worked for me. Like,
but what's the lead gen like marketing campaign? Like, was it to the webinar or like was it on you know, I don't know, nowadays it's like
Oh,
freebie. Yeah, like how was that marketing campaign like?
freebie. It was freebie. It was like things. Nothing to webinar. Webinar was separate.
Well,
Webinar,
it's
I
just like
like.
your own self.
Yeah, webinar I like purely did like how I would do in my old company. I reached out to
Okay.
all the influencers, that kind of thing, see if they can promote on their page.
Yeah.
All by favors.
Yeah.
I looked for like communities or groups
Oh, okay.
who
Interesting. Yeah.
were already addressing this kind of issues. Then they did their own sharing. Then shared friends of friends. So very interesting crowd that came. Then
So you went to lead gen.
Then I went to
first
lead
time.
gen. Struggled a bit. Then I found like my rhythm in opening and closing cold. Then 2022, I met you last year, right? This year,
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2022 after, so that means I did it in 2021. That means after about 1 year of doing cold and what, I realized business model didn't work for me because I don't like having to put the investment. Like, I don't know, I didn't expect that.
Like putting money into
Putting
lead
money,
gen.
as in I was like Pru has a scheme where you put money into these campaigns, then if you clear your targets, you can get back.
Leads to success or something.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So to me, it was never an issue to clear the targets.
Yeah.
But to me, I had a lot of cash flow problems because I didn't realize how I should manage my finances in this business. Then I just didn't want to do that anymore. And secondly, it was very exhausting because cold was my weekly schedule, right? Actually, I'm quite shocked. I look back, it's like I could have 25 appointments,
25.
30 appointments set.
Wait, like in a week?
In a week.
In a week?
Yeah.
Wow. Even
Set,
if you
but may not meet all.
yeah, but then again, even let's assume like
I don't know
let's
how I
say
did that.
yeah, but like 25 divided by 7, that's like, you know, how, I don't know, what, 3, 4?
It could be 6 a day.
That's it.
It could be 7. Yeah. Max was 6, 7. I think I'm
Okay.
like dead already.
Yeah.
Because cold appointments are not long. They're like, you kind of, I know what I'm looking for in a person.
Right.
But it's difficult lah. I don't like to do online also, which meant I had a lot of traveling time.
Yeah.
So all these are costs, right? Costs, you have petrol, you have parking, you have your time.
Bandwidth, energy.
Yeah, exactly. Everything,
Yeah.
things like that lah.
Yeah.
Like, but to me at that stage of my business, I just knew that I needed client acquisition. Then when it crossed to a certain point, I was just like, shit, I cannot keep up. Then what do I need to focus on? I think that's the time when I met you. Yeah, like I was like, I cannot keep up in terms of meeting at this rate, prospecting at this rate. I cannot keep up in terms of maintaining my existing client base and a certain standard. Then how and where do I go from now? Yeah. So then that's when I moved back to purely warm and referrals. But of course, in your third year, I think referrals come in differently also. I get a bit more passive also.
From the one is passively from like clients or like from
Both
friends?
more from clients, but
okay.
friends. Some friends also they say, "Hey, Geri has been around for 3 years already."
Sometimes they just need that proof, right? Like the
Yeah.
proof that you're not here like a flaky advisor.
Which
that
I can
comes like 6
understand,
months.
you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I meet up with some of them after like what they say, like, yeah, actually when you first start, very like, you know, got this point to prove.
Yeah.
Then I can understand.
Yeah.
But now it's true lah. Like if they don't want to go ahead, I'm also okay. But if they want, they can make time. Then okay, I'll make time for you. Yeah. So it's a bit different. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. Like no more cold, but I also had very good relationship with my colds that became my clients. And that opened a new market for me.
Right.
So now I'm just moving more to what I am good at, my specialty, and also my existing client base, which was mostly my friends and friends of friends. They are also maturing.
Your friends of friends of
No,
friends.
friends and friends of friends.
Oh.
Friends and referrals lah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
They're also maturing because I'm like now in the 30s. So,
Oh.
yeah. So
30.
it's like different stage in life, different level of planning,
Yeah.
more opportunity also, I would say. Before the cruising period until retirement, I feel.
And so okay, you already cleared your first you cleared MDRT this year, right?
Yeah.
You cleared like last month or like was it June?
June. Yeah.
June, right? So you cleared like MDRT in June.
Yeah.
And then like for that first 6 months of the year basically,
Yeah.
what was the main prospecting methods? Was it still more referrals?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so no cold.
No
at
cold.
all.
No cold at all. I did have some like left what I call cold, but they wanted to follow up.
Okay,
Then I just follow up.
Not
yeah.
like new. It's
No,
not like
nothing new.
it's just
nothing
like
new.
things that-
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's mostly those. Yeah.
And do you have? So what do you do? Okay. I am assuming
Yeah.
that because kind of like it warm as well last time. I assuming you have more time now as compared to when you were doing coal in
Yeah.
2021, right? So what do you do with more time?
I have a very bad habit, I realize.
Yeah.
I don't like to keep free time. Yeah. So I find things to be busy with or productive with lah. I don't know. So now I'm spending more time and money actually upgrading myself, building relationships, networking, and just growing my mind in a different way. I don't know how to say. So so when I first joined, like in my agency, the starter pack was start with why,
Yeah,
atomic
okay.
habits, you know, that
Okay.
level
Oh,
of
that's a
like
different starter
yeah.
pack.
Yeah. But so that was a part that like hooked me also to
Yeah,
the
okay,
industry. I
that's
was like,
different.
wow, you
Yeah.
gotta develop yourself. I didn't know. Because I was very big on all these like Robin Sharma, even like when I was young also.
5 Club.
Yeah, 5am Club, Mang Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yeah.
I like this kind
Yeah.
of books. Then when I found out that it was big in the insurance industry, I was like, oh, a very interesting industry. But now it's not so much about discipline for me. For me, like those things were like discipline and conviction kind of like self-help books. For me now it's like optimizing, leveraging bigger, like beyond the big picture kind of things. And to be honest, I don't really have an answer, but that's the kind of like environment and energy I'm looking for. I wouldn't say to challenge my opinions or beliefs, because I'm not in the you know that when the first what do I call it, your first paradigm shift, right, is when you like, holy shit, everyone is not the same, or like
Yeah.
there's so many different types of people in the world. But I don't think it's that anymore. Now it's just like I want someone who has also addressed all of these issues to engage with me in like conversation or like collaboration, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's literally what I spend my time doing. And actually, funnily enough, going back to the things that I used to like to do, like eat cai fan or have a free night. Like, I don't know how to say. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the things that I enjoy spending my time with to keep my mind empty. Sounds so ironic. Yeah.
You were a literature person, right?
Yeah.
You studied lit
Yeah.
when? Secondary
When?
school?
All the
JC?
way.
All the,
Yeah.
like secondary school?
Yeah.
JC?
Secondary school, JC, uni. Uni, it was my main major. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It explains.
So what am I
explains,
doing in this job? I also don't know.
But you did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well. You know, just now I talk about relationships, like being relationships.
Yeah.
Do you think building relationships is a privilege or a luxury for advisors that have made it to a certain point in terms of money? So if you think about,
Oh, okay.
you
I
know,
get what
when
you
it first started,
Yeah.
it's like, sure, you want to build relationships, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, you got to pay the bills, you know, and just because you
Understand.
build a relationship doesn't mean that you necessarily get it, right? You know, but you know, obviously, we get more seasoned, we have time, we can have a drink, and then we
Yeah.
can chill and have build
Yeah.
relationships. Yeah, but that's only because like we have maybe a certain level of money or assets or security within ourselves that we can earn the money again, and that's why we can do it. Yeah. So like, what are your thoughts on like on that, right? Is it just a only after we earn a certain amount of money then we can do it, or you think it's or you see it as not a mutually exclusive thing whereby you can still build relationship and get a sale?
I think I'm more of the second, but maybe of course at the start, the level of like freestyle relationship building is different lah. Maybe a bit more touch and go. But I think you must always think beyond it. Like it's like with financial planning, right? Do you only buy insurance when you make your big bucks, or do you only like? It's the same thing. It's just maybe budget, lor.
Maybe buy a little smaller, like
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
beginning. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So now, I
That's
mean, I've
smart.
always done it this way. It's just that now the kind of like relationships I'm building is different. It's not like I drop by for like a random coffee chat. Or it's like more
Right.
in depth and intentional.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually a good analogy.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, or what I'm hearing is really also more like
It
you still build
evolved,
relationships at the beginning, but it's you probably don't have time to like spend 5 hours with this fella,
correct,
going
correct.
really deep into life
Exactly,
and everything else. But
exactly.
really more like, hey, you know what, 30 minutes chat, catch
Yeah.
up, so on and so forth, and then on your way,
Yeah.
right? and then like now you're saying like, you know, now we are at a
I
higher
can
level.
do like one day, let's go
Yeah.
surfing, or like, you know.
Ah, okay, that's
Yeah.
good energy for the buying insurance one. Yeah,
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I
Yeah,
find,
okay.
yeah, I find that
Oh, that's
money
good.
and time
That's good. Yeah.
are two concepts that are very similar. How you spend your time, how you spend your money. You know, the concept of like budgeting, addressing your needs, wants, and then dreams
Yeah.
is the same with time for me. Yeah. Recently, only this year. Yeah. So I think you can't just keep saying like, oh, when I have what, then I'll do what. Because then what is it? Then yeah.
Now we are going to like.
Uh-oh.
No, we are going. No, which
Yeah.
is great. Like I'm not to get in
Yeah.
there as well. So you know, sometimes you always have this idea of like
Mm.
we need to. It's like there seems to always have a requirement for
Yeah.
something before we do something else, right? So it's like
Oh,
this must
okay.
happen before that, right? It's like we
Yeah.
must have 5 million in the bank, then we can do this.
Yeah.
You know, we must have 7 million in the bank
Yeah.
in assets, then we can be financially free.
Correct.
Then
yeah.
we can enjoy our lives,
Yeah.
then whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, but I realize that nowadays, I think in our generation is really more like, you know, looking at it as instead of if, then, or either or, we're looking at and, right? I can earn my money and still have fun at the same time.
Yeah.
I can earn my money and still enjoy life. I can earn my money and do what I need to do and still go for holidays.
Agree.
Right? Yeah. You know, last time, I think in the previous generation, it's really more like, if you must hit this, then you can do that, right? Or you either have this or you have that.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, and, right? You know, a lot of things that we do nowadays. It's like, I mean, look at you. Like, you did your MDRT in 6 months, and then you travel like 9 times.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like calculating how many times did I even travel this year. It's like, maybe twice? No, I only went Japan. Yeah, I only went like...
Oh, you only went Japan? But you went quite long, right? I remember. Yeah.
It's 10 days or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was only like 10 days. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, so it's like, only went once this year, you know? Yeah, but even I myself also find it, sometimes it's like, I don't know whether is it also a guilt thing or like something that is hardwired in us in the past, which is like, we might not feel deserving to
It is
take the
definitely,
breaks.
yeah.
Even though like we can. Sometimes it's not because like we don't have the means to, you know, it's just like we feel like we shouldn't.
I had a lot of that.
Cannot.
Yeah.
Do you break out of that, or like how do you manage to?
I'm still in that, I would say. But now I also think it's important to like nourish yourself, then you will be in a good state to give. You know? Yeah. So yeah, interesting real like insight.
Yeah. I think sometimes we just like too harsh on ourselves also. You know, we feel like we need to keep up with all the Joneses, like, okay, I need to have my HDB, my BTO, my resale, the kid, and everything else. And then it's like we think of all these milestones, and one of the key criteria to have all this, to achieve this, is money, right? And the way to earn money at the very least is like exchange of like time and knowledge and everything else, right? So it becomes like work to get all these things.
But to what end?
Yeah, that's true.
I think like what you said, right? When you pursue both this and this that you want, there will be a tension at some point that you realize you cannot do. Then you'll either have to rethink what it is, what success means to you, what freedom means to you, what enjoyment means to you, what like all these things. You have to find your what I call your biting point. It's like when you drove manual before?
Yeah, in army.
In army.
Yeah, that was like
wow. Yeah, so it's like, it's not exactly like I put my foot down at this angle at certain pressure for 5 seconds, then I release the clutch and whatever. Yeah, I don't even remember. But the idea is that you have to feel it.
Yeah, based on feels. Yeah, like they always say.
So
like,
you have,
based on feels.
it's based on feels, then you develop that intuition, then you know. So I think it's only for those who demand that from themselves, then they go through it, they'll discover their feels, you know?
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. Like,
and what does you it's very interesting. You talk about
Yeah.
like we need to understand, you know, what does success means to us in our own definition, right? You know, so if what does success mean to you at this current stage in time? Because I think I like to believe that, you know, at different stages of our life, we have different definition of success, right?
For sure.
Yeah, because we have different goals and everything. So like at this current stage of where you're in your 4th year, you know, you're approaching the big 3.
Don't remind me.
Right? And stuff like that.
Yeah, in like 1 month.
1 month, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
what does the definition of success mean to you at this current point in time?
I think not worrying about like paying for things, not worrying about my health, being able to spend time to consolidate my day to and give back, like, and reflect actually, yeah, like digest everything that's happening, and then yeah.
And
So
what was like the definition, if you remember, when you first started the business?
more
Like,
like I
what
must
was
have how much in my bank, I
Yeah.
must have what. I mean, yeah, yeah, you know, those kind of things, more
Yeah.
tangible. Some people say it's cause, like, you know, you already achieve certain tangible
Yeah.
stuff, but I think, yeah, I don't know.
But there's
It's
always
just
people that even if they achieve tangible stuff, they still want more tangible stuff. Not that
exactly,
it's wrong, but you know,
yeah,
there are people like that also, right?
yeah, there are.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Was there
Yeah.
anything that made you
Change.
help you or facilitate that thought process or that transition from just material, money stuff? Like that's still important, of course, right? But from there to even more meta physical, like intangible stuff, like talk about time,
Yeah,
energy, you know, we have conversations about that. You know,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like a slow transition, or was there like a trigger point whereby suddenly one day you wake up and you're like, fuck money,
No
fuck earning
lah,
money, screw
not so
MDRT, and then like,
extreme.
yeah, so like, how was it?
I would say it's multiple trigger point. I would say life happens. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You know, you plan, then you draw the graph, then there's that linear projection.
Yeah.
Then life happens, and you realize you got to readjust,
Yeah.
readapt, recalibrate. Then in all these like iterations or recalibrating, reprocessing, and whatever, you realize you find the patterns, or you realize what is important. Yeah. So it's true like what I say, going through it and
Like
developing the
reiterations
feels
also,
for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And gratitude, mostly the underlying thing is gratitude, I would say. Yeah, that is my biggest recovery to reset, I think. Yeah.
How do you find out? You know, I truly believe, you know, when we are able to identify the goal that you want for ourselves,
Yeah.
that truly belong to us, right?
Yeah.
You know, and in the pursuit of that, I think Il Nightingale said this. Il Nightingale said that, you know, success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. So what this means is that, you know, if you already identify your goal,
Okay.
and if on every day you're just working towards that,
Yeah.
that in itself is success.
Yeah.
Right? So the challenge I found is also when we talk to some advisors and we first started and everything else. And I think I was talking to I think I had this I asked a similar question, which was something I want to know your thoughts on. I think I asked with Mel the other day as well, which was also like, how do we truly know then?
On the right way, right
Yeah,
path.
because sometimes I'm sure, you know, when we set a goal and then suddenly we change the goal, you know, halfway through, and then it's like,
True.
hey, you know, maybe we don't want this, maybe it's like that, you know, it become a bit flaky.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like, how do you know, or how do we know, you know, or develop kind of feels, right? Whether, you know, is that goal truly belong to ours? Because if we end up
Yeah.
living our lives, living a goal
Yeah, correct.
that's being sold to us by other people, then first of all, like one thing, and this is like true, right? Like if let's say a manager or director say you must hit COD,
Yeah.
and let's say you buy into that goal, even though it's not yours to begin with, right?
Yeah.
I think it's also very hard to achieve COT to begin with because you are resisting all the things
Internally,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, how do you kind of like fall back into finding out like your goal? You know that maybe
Oh.
this year COT is not really what you want. Maybe it's just 2 MDRT or just 1.5 MDRT is like that thing that you feel happy about. I don't know, like.
I would say internally. For me, I'm a very C person, if you want to use that standard lah. So when I journal, I'll like really explore everything, like who I'm spending time with, what's my input, what's my output. For me, it's the process of journaling. It's like, I don't think you'll ever know. It's like, you know, my friend's mom just told me this, like when she apparently she has a third eye. Then when she walk into the room, then she can sense. Then when you sense, then you back off. Like, it's not like she walked into the room and she wants to get to the goal, then she ignore everything and then she just goes there. But you have certain things where you sense. Or it's like you want to eat different food, then you try. Then you eat something, then you get Bali Valley or food poisoning. Then you don't eat that thing. Then you just like...
So I hear two parts, right? One is
Yeah.
really more like of course you have to try and error thing.
Yes.
Right? The other one is kind of like going with your intuition, with your emotions and how
Yeah.
you feel.
You have to have some form of self-assuredness
Mm.
and self-confidence to trust your intuition. I don't know how to say.
Mm.
Yeah. I do know there are some people who don't trust their gut.
Yeah.
So they always need someone to tell them what to do. And they are also the kind of people I find who are the very, we do this thing, we set this goal, we must do know whatever ends, achieve it. So maybe this advice wouldn't work for everyone. But for me, I've always been a half-half kind of person.
Yeah.
Like logical, but then I have that, I don't know what to call it, feels.
Feels, yeah.
Must have the feels. Because,
Yeah.
I don't want to die like achieving something. But I also have to realize that things change.
Yeah.
I think when you go through life, you realize that,
Mm.
yeah, maybe you want to marry this person, but then they don't want to marry you one day, then how?
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe it's like also, I think this reminds you know, like
Yeah.
5 AM Club, like Robin Sharma, right? I
Yeah.
think he mentioned like there is the obviously skill sets, there's mindset, there is
Set.
heart
Yeah.
set, right? Yeah, there's heart
Yeah.
set, right? I think that he's also talking about health set, I think. So I think it's health, skill
Yeah.
set, whatever mindset. Then there's also the heart set,
Yeah.
right? You know, I think he also mentioned like in a book, don't quote me, but I think he also said something along the I mean it's been a while since I read the book. Yeah, but I think one of the things he was mentioning, like, you know, you really have to feel and be in alignment with your heart, you know, because the heart will reveal what the mind cannot see.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it's that more often than not, we tend to rely on the mind to
Yes.
logically see things,
Yeah.
to whatnot. Well, I mean, that has to be the case, right? Because, you know,
Yeah.
if the lion is chasing after you, you cannot be like, oh, I think the lion is cute, you know, and then if you with that this lion won't harm you, then you get eaten, right? So obviously, you know, you need to logically run away and everything else. But I think something needs to get in alignment with our heart. And I generally find, even for myself, like I'm kind of half also. It's like, okay, I'm more like 70-30. Like 70%, I need
Logical.
I need to like
Okay.
see this. If this makes sense, I'll do it, right?
Okay.
But sometimes the problem comes is when it's logical. Is it even when it's logical, right? There's
Yeah.
always pros and cons, right?
Yes.
Right? Like for everything, there's always pros and cons.
Yeah.
So then, even especially when they have two options where both are almost on like
Oh, I'm
equal
very bad
standing,
at
right?
that.
Yeah, I suck at that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I realized and found that was very helpful for me was it was in these kind of moments, especially
Yeah.
where no matter how much you think about it, it's like days and weeks, right? It's like you can't even decide. I realized that all I need to do is like make a decision and then
Move on.
see how my heart feels.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the flip the coin then.
Correct.
So what's the first
yeah,
thing
correct,
you
correct.
off
It's the
with?
same, same energy, right? It's like
Yeah.
you flip and then then in that moment you feel like, okay, I hope it's not
Yeah. Red
this.
pill.
Yeah.
Red pill.
Right. So I felt like that was like the one that has always guided me, and you know, even till today, that has been very helpful in making decisions that I otherwise wouldn't have made in terms of like being the correct proper choice.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. But I think it's hard.
Interesting.
I think it's hard because especially, you know, when, let's be honest, like in the financial advisory industry, the way I look at it is it's a everybody's a salesperson.
Yeah.
It's just that they're selling insurance and selling investment, right? You know, you can't really say you're just a financial advisor and whatnot, because like when your CPF comes in, you're selling CPF IS, you know, you're selling products that doesn't belong to the insurance company but belongs to the government, right? So it's kind of like salesperson like saying other things. That's how I look at it. And by the same token, this also means that like in the sales industry, it's competitive as it should.
Yeah.
There's always tagged to the behaviors will always be tagged to incentives and rewards. They're structured or created by people at the top, right?
Yes.
You know, which as it should. So then the question here is like, how do we then, or what are some of the steps maybe you've been through to separate the noise? And because like if everybody is telling us all the things that we need to do every day, the WhatsApp chat, MDRT, your manager tracking your sales, telling you ABC, then you probably wouldn't have time to listen to yourself, right? Yeah. So, and obviously, Geri, like you are the kind of person that wants to have alone time, you know, and have.
So funny, Then why did I join this?
Right. So are there any things that you do, like, you know, I know you went for your silent retreat, right? You know, and stuff like that.
Silent, not a silent. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Silence retreat. Yeah, right. Then so like other than silent retreat, you know, are there any other things that you do for yourself to keep in touch and in tune with yourself?
I think recently I'm trying to pay more attention to my health. So I've always like done the exercise thing.
Mm.
I think that's important. Then now my focus is on sleep. Yeah. Feeling well rested, sleep. That one I'm really struggling with. It's just hard for me to like,
What's the what's the struggle?
the struggle is getting to bed early. Yeah. Like ending the day early. I'm very okay with starting a day early, no matter how late I end. But that's not to my benefit.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's like ending the day early. That one is hard for me. But I think it's important. All these like basic things to take care of. Then you just you'll be more in tune with yourself and less to the. I think when we sway to the noise or what, it's cause maybe we're looking for some kind of direction or strength. Maybe not all the time. It may come from a place of deficiency, right? That's why we have to like look to others.
Yeah.
You know. But if you have, I always feel if you have enough input, good environment, you take care of your basic needs, then actually you kind of know where you want to head to, in a sense, or you have an idea. Yeah, because technically anything we read or consume is also like noise.
Yeah,
in a
that's true.
sense.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that it's maybe more intentional. Like I wouldn't anyhow just read a book. I will read a book that I chose to read, if that makes
That's true.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people wise also just who you spend your time with. Yeah. I do like audits or checks,
Yeah, you
like
mentioned.
look back, and see, oh, who did I spend my time with? Especially if I'm feeling a certain way, then I look back and I'm like, is it like this person, or is it the scheduling, or is it like
Right.
then you realize. But it's only through like all these reflections and journaling or what then I know. Sometimes when you in lit
In Leeds.
yeah, in lit
Ladies and
then
gentlemen, we have our literature student here.
I don't know if there's this writer called Virginia Woolf. She has this
What's her
style of
name?
writing called
Right.
stream of consciousness writing. You just write whatever comes to mind, you just write.
Okay.
But then when you write and you see in paper, right, it's like clear, like the patterns or like the words that you keep using or the people you keep mentioning. So I think that kind of like freestyle journaling is very important to me.
Right.
Like to me, when I write, is to deload. Like I have a lot of things in my head usually, and I cannot stop thinking about it. But when I write it down, then I
Kind of
know
taking it out, right?
I'm taking it out,
Yeah.
and then in subconsciously, I'm telling my body like, "Hey, look, I'm giving it some attention. I'm paying attention to it." Then that's it. That's all I have to do. Usually, when I write it out, then I'm like, "Oh, I feel better already, cause I have done something about it."
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay, this is interesting.
yeah, it's something that I realized, and it could be very short thing like, "Wow, today I feel damn angry." Why? And when I write to my journal, I write with no filter. Cause when I talk to a friend, there's always like, oh, what
Yeah, you always have to be
like, oh,
slightly aware
let's
of
say I'm
like
damn
the things
angry
you
at
want to say.
Mel.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you. Like maybe
Yeah.
I'll feel like a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, and I think one thing that I thought about yesterday is also Instagram. Yeah, a lot of noise.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go on Instagram retreat.
I tried. Just one month ago. I deleted like all the apps,
Oh,
all the social media apps. Yeah.
Then
If
how?
I need to post or whatnot, then I'll go
Yeah.
to the website itself, the desktop.
Wow,
Yeah.
dedication.
So everything was just like off.
How did it work for you?
I tell you, it was like I realized, and this was so eerie also because like if let's say I'm doing nothing, I'm waiting for somebody or something. That 5
Okay.
minutes, I will find myself touching my phone, opening
Right?
up. Yeah, and then oh, there's nothing there. Okay, then I turn it off.
Yeah.
And I realized like there's multiple instances in a day where I
Mm.
catch myself wanting to go to the damn phone and like use it. You know,
Yeah.
that was one. And then second was I felt very peaceful.
Cause
I
no
felt
noise.
very peaceful. I felt like life is good. You know, it felt like I'm still posting, I'm still doing all my stuff, but
yeah.
it was but I think it was this sense of clear disconnect. It was
I
very
see.
clear because nothing else. Like I deleted Slack off my
Right.
phone also.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that
Okay.
the only app I had, not the only but like the only communication app I had was either I think it was Telegram and WhatsApp.
Interesting.
That's all.
Huh.
Yeah. Right.
Cool.
And not a lot of people WhatsApp me because I
Yeah.
know, and because my friends, everybody knows like WhatsApp. I take ages to reply. Yeah. So other than my parents and Kelly, like, yeah, it was so peaceful. It was so good. It was so good to the extent where I almost didn't wanted to like
Come
download
back.
it back.
Oh,
Yeah,
but you did.
But I did because, I felt it was just more convenient from a work standpoint to censor the messages that
It
fast,
is. It
and
is.
everything else. But I tell you, if you can do it,
Yeah.
it's like suddenly no one, it's kind of like if let's say today you're in a room alone,
Mm-hmm.
then next being no one is talking to you, right? Other than your own thoughts, per
Correct.
se.
Yeah.
But when you have that app,
You're not.
it's everybody is
Yeah.
shouting at you. Everybody is looking
It
at you,
is.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, until you realize that now you have literally no access to that community or that app where you have so many people blasting at you.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's just quiet. I realized I have a lot. Then the result of that is I have a lot more space to actually think.
Hmm.
And when I say peaceful, right, that meant a lot to me because, especially in the past, I have a lot of anxiety.
Hmm.
You
Oh, I
dealing.
cannot tell.
Yeah, like in the past. Yeah, in the past. Now I still have very
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah.
But like when I remove that, right, like no lah, I don't feel like that anxious or as anxious anymore. It's like
Yeah.
I have nobody that I need to compete with.
Yeah.
I
You're not the only one who
yeah
told me this.
yeah I have no FOMO.
Mm.
I have no like shit. This person is doing this or like hey this person
Mm.
this thing happened to this person and I need to. It's just like it's just me. It's just my parents. It's just like my living room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like wow.
Sounds
I don't even
beautiful.
want to do it, but like you can do it, then it's like
I'm trying to figure out how to do it while being an advisor. So I may just have a purely professional account. I don't know. But maybe that one I'll chat with you about it. Yeah.
I know we have. I know there's some advisors who does like have a second phone kind of stuff.
I also heard of.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know.
So it depends if you have a second phone or a second. Nowadays, like iPhone can
Yeah.
do like eSIM.
Yeah.
So it's a WhatsApp business account. I think one of the other things might work. There's this app called OPAL, I think. Yeah, it's basically like those those block out your app.
Oh,
type
right,
stuff.
right,
I
right.
generally find that that's not really the most useful because it's like you can go and like
Yeah.
edit the access and whatnot, right? Yeah, so it's kind of big idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really was quite a big one.
Yeah. But I really think that Instagram is like, I think it's just like seeped into our lives so much that it's the same thing, right? Cannot be an either or thing, I feel. But then how do you like mutually or combine the good benefits?
I think it's harder for like you, especially if the main mode of communication is through WhatsApp.
Exactly.
I think Instagram, if you can delete, it's fine. And stuff like that. But I think WhatsApp might be a little bit difficult because that clients can still, especially a lot of clients.
Yeah.
It keeps coming in, right? So I think that's a big one. Well, okay, one other small little hack I used to do last time, which is, like my Instagram, my Slack, and not my WhatsApp, but my WhatsApp business account is always muted.
Oh, okay.
Muted meaning say that I will not receive any notifications
until you open it.
until I open it.
Huh,
That's how I see
interesting.
that. Okay, cool. Now, of course, I will miss some messages, not in time, whatever. But I think there's a trade-off that you have to pay in the short term.
Yeah.
Because once people kind of get the idea, then they will know that, okay, they are not going to have you reply in 5 minutes, right? And stuff like that. Now, of course, it takes time to kind of process that and allow people to know kind of where the boundaries are.
True,
right?
true.
Yeah, but I think that was
I could work
something,
on.
very helpful. Yeah. So, Jerry,
Interesting. Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
Do you, I think just like you mentioned, like at the beginning, your agency have a different, what do you call it again?
The starter pack.
Yeah, starter pack, right? Yeah, starter pack, right? So you talk about why. Do you believe is having a purpose, necessary for success in this industry? Because everybody talks about purpose, right? Everybody talks about having a higher purpose beyond just money, or the purpose could be just money. So do you think like having maybe I'm more specific, do you think having a more higher purpose, like doing it for impact, kind of stuff, or like a very strong why that necessary to have success? And let's say we define the success as just lots of money.
I had this because I told you I met someone who was considering the industry yesterday. Right? I just spoke to him about it.
Okay.
I don't think so, actually. I used to think so. I think it's necessary if you need a strong why to, how should I say, sustain long term. But you have to recognize that the why will evolve and develop. If you don't have a strong why, you need a strong reason. So either you have very strong values, like you're a very committed person. You need that commitment. Because this industry is not easy.
Yep.
So anything, it's like you're sailing through rough seas, right? You know the waves and the currents will
Yeah.
like whatever. So you either need a damn strong ship or damn strong will to get to where you want to get. So even if the ship is not there, you'll find a way to swim there or get there in a sampan or what. Yeah. So either a strong why or strong values.
Mm.
Yeah. That are rooted in this work. Yeah. Something strong now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people is like, once they earn, okay, I
Yeah.
will even talk about people who earn
Mm.
or relatively successful in the industry. I think like even there are some newer advisors where everybody is about like the impact thing now. Nowadays it's
Yeah.
like about the purpose and everything else. Um, but sometimes I realize like these people allow the discovery of the purpose
Mm-hmm.
to be the criteria before they work. So in short, if
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have a why, then my work will just be like that, or I'm not driven or motivated to work until I find
Understand.
that why.
But you may never find
Yeah,
it.
exactly, right? Yeah, so I realized like there's this I think having a purpose is something that's important.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's okay, think about it, right? So having a
Yeah.
purpose or finding a purpose or discovering a purpose or uncovering a purpose, right? It's not so much about like, oh, I think this is my purpose, so on and so forth. I think it comes along with things that we do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ups and downs, the reiterations that realize that, hey, maybe this is not what I want, this is what I want.
Okay.
Or maybe that one particular action or incident
Yeah.
that make you like, holy
Yeah.
shit, this is why I do what I do, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's like without actions, it's kind of
Mhm.
hard, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think which is why I wanted to ask this question because, like in the very olden days,
Yeah.
when our parents, they work and everything
Yeah.
else, yeah, like,
I don't think they have a
I don't think they
strong.
had a
Yeah.
strong why. I don't think they thought about like why do it other than of course of family and stuff.
Yeah.
But like regardless of how they feel and whatnot, they still continue to do the work that they do, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
It's just that sometimes, people are like, oh, I don't have my why, then I don't want to do anything. Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
happened to me once or twice. Yeah. I think twice. Yeah. But I just realized sometimes I think this whole idea of like, okay, I must have purpose first, then I can do my work better. Or I have purpose, then I'll be more successful.
It's like I have money, then I can do this.
Yeah.
I have time, then I can meet this
No,
kind
I
of
think
friend.
this.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
exactly, Jerry. I think
Yeah.
this is a perfect conversation for
Yeah.
this, right? Because I think we have to challenge, in my opinion. I think we have to do. I think you know this very well also. Like we have to challenge the ideas or assumption that has been sold to us or that we made about certain topics, right? So, for example, it's like what you mentioned just now was beautiful,
Yeah.
which was the old belief or the current way of believing.
Yeah.
It's if I want to buy a car,
Okay.
I need to earn 300,000 or save 300,000, then I
Yeah.
can have the car,
Yeah.
right? It's like I need to have the money to buy the car.
Okay.
But the real belief I realized, right, is that money is not needed per se
Mm-hmm.
to buy the car. I know this sounds very weird for a lot of people listening to this,
Yeah.
but money is just an attribute to getting a car.
Okay.
So the analogy, right, is I hope that makes sense. But analogy
Yeah.
is this: is let's say you and I want a cake, want to bake a cake. We want to have a cake we want to bake a cake, right, for someone's
Okay.
birthday.
Okay.
Okay, we want to have a cake. Now, what happens? We have to first find out what are the ingredients, right?
Yeah.
We have to first find out how to bake the cake, the sequence,
Mm.
recipe, so on and so forth, right? So let's say there's flour, there's chocolate, there's whatever ingredients.
True.
So only when we want to bake a cake, then we decide like, okay, how much of these ingredients on
Yeah.
what ingredients we want, right?
Yeah.
Then we get a cake, correct? It just sounds so logical, correct?
Right.
Now, then the question is, do we actually stock up 5 kg of flour?
Oh, this is a great analogy.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's assume one of the ingredients, let's say,
Yeah.
there's 5 ingredients, there's flour, there is, I don't know, sugar, salt,
Mm.
some yeast or don't know what lah. Okay, chocolate.
Eggs.
Eggs. Okay, I'm not,
Yeah.
obviously I don't. And then there's eggs, right? And let's assume that flour represents money. Right? Because
Okay.
you think about it, like if you want to purchase a car, we need to go through like money is not enough, right? Because
Yeah.
like we need to make sure that there's the contract, we need to make sure that the person can provide
Yes.
supply, can provide. I mean, so many other attributes or ingredients
Yes.
in the purchase of a
Yeah.
car, right? So in the same vein, flour, let's assume flour is the money, right?
Mhm.
Then the question is, do we stock up
No.
a lot of flour every day? Do we stock up like 10 kg of flour? We might stock up some,
Yeah.
but do we stock up 10 kg of flour? Do we work every day just to get flour?
No.
But isn't that the same thing with money?
It is. So to build on your analogy, it's like the question is, why do I want to build the cake? Is it important that I build the cake from scratch? Because maybe we want to bake a cake, right? Then let's say, I tell Elvina, hey, we're gonna bake a cake. Then she's like, hey, I have leftover batter or what you wanna use? Then I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Or like, I still have this whole cake. What are you getting a cake for? Then I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can take
Correct,
that.
right? Yeah,
So,
correct.
but to me, it's I just wanna have the cake, and,
Yeah.
and it's important. Yeah.
But you see, here's the point, right? The
Yeah.
point is that most of us will just care about stocking up the flour. You
Interesting.
want to stock flour every
Yeah.
day, earn flour, keep flour,
Then flour goes
multiply the flour, preserve the flour,
money.
right?
How come you ask about money?
So, remember. Yeah, but yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I think it's everything. It's money, time, energy.
right. So there are all these different ingredients. So again, to purchase
purpose,
the car, we need time, we need energy, we need attention, we need to think, right? So these are all the different ingredients, right?
Yeah.
But we don't stock up. It's not like, oh, because I'm going to buy a car, I will, I don't know, sleep 24 hours for the next 5 days, so that I got more energy to think about whether I can buy the car or not, or to think about the planning for the car. We don't know. It's like when we want the car, then we think about it, right? So I think it's the same idea of like, and the reason why I give the energy is because like when you challenge the assumptions, right, it becomes like, okay, is money really the only thing needed to get a car? Because our lives, and when we live in the financial system, right, the point is that our lives is all revolved around money, earning money. What is MDRT? MDRT is money, right? It's just it's a nicer glorified version of 72,000 a year right now.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, 6K a month. Okay, good job, right?
Yeah.
So is money really the only thing? Because like the problem is that you've been through this before. Like at first we don't have money, so money is important, right?
Yeah.
We think money is everything.
Yeah.
Because money can get us a lot of things. But once we earn a certain amount of money, then the question is like, okay, what is money, right? The question becomes like, then we have time to think about purpose, right?
More time to
more
think
time
about
about purpose, right? Yeah. Then it becomes like, okay, cool, money is still important, but it's not like the thing that people would chase after
at a certain level.
After a certain level, right?
Yeah.
But I think the kind of like slippery slope down is like, if people keep thinking that money is the only thing that only matters to all the purchases, to all the things that they want. At least in my worldview, when I speak to people and people are earning, I met people who earns like 2 million a month take home.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's like money never and no longer become the only thing that they care about. In fact, money is just a credit, like a token to keep score.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking about is like the impact. What I'm thinking about is like, all the other like buying other things, and then money is just like a ingredient. They see money as an ingredient.
Understand.
Yeah. People see money as the thing, then you can buy this.
Yeah.
But it's actually you buy this, you decide to buy this first.
Then you get the thing.
Then you start. Yeah, it's like you decide on the cake. Then you decide on the ingredients. You don't decide on the ingredients, then you decide the cake, ma.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you think about it,
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think like for everybody listening to this and watching this, I think it's just like, hopefully you don't get confused too much. It doesn't sound confused. It confused me at the start when I was like thinking about this entire concept, everything about it. I think just having like, people might be asking, okay, so what now that I know about this, then so what, right? Then what's next? Yeah, I think it's just understanding that life just doesn't really just revolve around money, and I think a lot of unhappiness also comes from money.
Yeah.
Like in fact, I truly feel and believe like more than 80-90% of our unhappiness comes from
For sure.
Right.
I'll say 99%.
Yeah, it's like money, everything's money.
Because it's all about earning money and then spending money.
And then saving it. Then some part of it you save.
You lose the value also. So it's like you're spending your youth and your time earning this money that is worth less when you want to have the time to spend it. Then
yeah, and for I think Geri, you had this conversation, right? I think like maybe like 1-2 months ago, and then you're saying like you're going to understand the definition of money, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, because we don't even know what's money. Like if you ask someone down the street, like what is money? Like, oh, they'll give you some definition of like, oh, it's a transfer of medium of value, transfer of value, blah, blah, blah. But like, what is really money, right? It's like, here's a funny experiment that I think proves quite a bit of point, which is, imagine, right, Geri, I asked you we went to Tesla roadshow the other time, right? The showroom or something. And then, so you just imagine this, okay? Imagine a white color Tesla Model Y.
Okay.
Right? We kind of know like
how
it looks like.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one. Imagine a Tesla Model Y but it's red.
Okay.
Okay, now imagine the next one, bright pink.
Okay.
Can, right? So it's like white, red, pink. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Barbie pink.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, I want you to imagine now and visualize $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
How does it look like? What does the image come to head?
I don't know, multiple Teslas, maybe.
Like just yeah, 5 million. Like if you
5
guys
million.
yeah, how what comes to your mind?
I don't know, just the words 5 million.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
don't you okay, this sounds like
Yeah.
iffy or whatnot, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
you realize that okay, imagine a penthouse condo,
Mm-hmm.
right? Having the view of Sentosa kind of ocean,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
imagine that. Yeah. Imagine $20 million.
Yeah.
Visualize $5,000.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
visualize money.
So we are visualizing more of the experience or the
So what we truly
thing,
want
yeah.
and what our minds can actually comprehend are the things that we actually want. And money is something that's so hard to visualize. Because you think about it, if I get another person here, let's say I get Mel, we get whoever
Yeah.
here, right? I say that visualize a red Tesla
Yeah.
Model Y.
Yeah.
We probably have the same image.
Mm-hmm.
Visualize $5 million. First, it's going to be hard. Number two, your $5 million and my 5 million probably different.
Understand.
Yeah.
Because what it means to me is different.
Right. And the thing is like, what is money?
Mm.
Is it paper? Is it numbers in the bank account?
It's imagination.
Right. You know what I mean? So I this was something that I experimented. I was reading a book, right? And then I realized that holy shit, it's true. Like it's so hard to visualize money. You know? It's like the true things that we actually want is really the house, the car, the business class, the lifestyle, the food that we want. We don't actually want money.
Yeah.
Money is just a means, an attribute
Yeah.
to the purchase that you want. So which means to say, instead of chasing after money, why don't we just chase after the things that we actually want rather than money? Same thing.
Okay.
Why don't we chase for the cake and visualize the cake rather than the flour?
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I think like if you can, I don't know why we're talking about this, but anyways, yeah.
We ended up here.
Yeah. We will definitely end up here, Jerry. It's you.
Interesting.
Food for thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Jerry. I think it's about time. But I have one question.
Yeah.
I think one question I always ask, right? Which is so if you look back, like this is the end of the year. So you look back like 3 years ago, when you first started, what would you have wished you have done differently? Knowing what you know now.
What would I have wished I have done differently?
What we have done differently, knowing what you know now. In the
Wow.
business. Yeah. One.
Business wise,
Yeah, one thing. Yeah.
I think just go easy on myself. Yeah.
What do you say there?
Why do I say that? I think things just work out in their own time, in their own ways. And it was only after some more time then I have that. Like now, if I were me back then, I'd be like, oh, never close, never what, never set appointment, never what, whatever. Then it causes a lot of that stress and that mental burden. But now it's the same thing, but I just don't have that mental burden because I don't know whether I trust the process because of the track record or the experience or that self-confidence. Yeah. And yeah, that's the one thing. I'll go easy. Yeah. Essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was funny.
What?
I can't remember. Like we have other guests that said similar things also.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think Ash said it also. I think it was Ash. Yeah. And she said like, I won't be so hard on myself. Yeah. And I don't know if this is especially an Asian thing or Singapore thing, right? You know, where,
yeah,
where we are like just so hard on ourselves.
or an industry thing also, I don't know. Yeah.
I think there's like implied pressure when you see other people perform and you're not. Right? Especially when those people who perform, you don't see them as any individual that's smarter than you or like they're more hardworking than you.
Yeah.
And then but yet they're performing and you're not, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I think those kind of implied pressure would create a lot of internal stress rather than pressure.
True. Not beneficial also.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
that's like the one thing like you have done differently. Like you were just really
like action wise and all
Yeah.
that, I wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
I did what I knew. I don't think it was wrong. and I had to go through it,
Mm.
But it's the self pressure, because yourself is who you face every day.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yourself is who you face
yeah,
every
actually
day.
you are your most important, whatever it is, right? I say who you hang out with, your input, your output, like, everything is all
Yeah.
you. That is the most important. The top second was sleep more. But
Right. Okay.
yeah. But you asked me to pick one, then I was like,
Yeah.
go easy on
Was
yourself.
there a third? Was there a third?
There are a lot. Yeah.
Okay, if you have third, then
If
we
I
end
have a
there. Yeah,
third.
if you have third, anyway, end there. No, you gotta if there's third. So first is go let's be less hard on ourselves. Second
Yeah.
is sleep more, and then third.
Third, just live a little more. Yeah.
What do you mean by live a little more?
Live a little more. Well, actually, is there even a third? Oh, the third is just be yourself. Like, just have that confidence and be yourself. I think it's only through this career then I have so much like self assurance. I always had, but in terms of expressing myself and boldly like sharing my opinions, not so much. But I think cause in this career you're just forced to like.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the top three. The third one, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't change for other people.
But
Because
change for yourself.
change for yourself lah. Change
Right,
for who you
yeah.
want to be or what you want to do.
But don't change
But
for
don't
other
change for
people.
other people. Like, meaning, I feel like I have to be someone else in front of you.
Mm.
I don't know. People have different words, right?
Yeah.
Be authentic lah, or
Yeah.
whatever, or whatever. I think just be yourself. Be who you are. Because if I am adjusting or filtering myself just cause I'm afraid that you will think of me otherwise, can you imagine, like, okay, let's say you accept me now, but what kind of,
Right.
what kind of feeling or what I will be having? I'll be like, oh, he's only accepting me because I am this version of myself. And one day, if you change your mind, then how am I going to feel? I'll be like, in all those times I interacted with Ben, I'm not myself. And now he left anyway. Then what was the point of that? So I have felt that when I dealt with some clients, then I realized, oh, if in the end also they choose otherwise or they go, then who was I? And in that all that moments and all my interactions with them, I am not myself then. That's so another unnecessary like mental burden, I feel. Like, yeah, life is short, so just keep it free, right? I really feel that maybe it's like a 30s thing. Oh, I'm so sad.
30s thing. Oh my god.
Like the fragility and preciousness of life. Like really. And it's your life. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I always say like always be authentic. And I totally agree. It's like always be
Yeah.
authentic and live your own life and not what other people want you to live or do.
Yeah.
Because their repercussions, the repercussions of their intent idealized for you is yours to bear.
Exactly.
Right? Like
Yeah.
if you want to live a life, and this happens like to me, it happened to me when, kind of like my dad's expectations of me and everything else. Yeah, then I started to realize one day I woke up and I'm like, okay, it's not really one day I woke up, right? But like one day I realized like all the shit I'm going through and whatnot, all the consequences of my actions,
Yeah.
my dad will never pay for it. My dad will never feel
Yeah.
what I feel or what I felt when I was going through what he wants me to do.
Yeah.
He will not be the one studying for me, right? He will not be the one like having the anxiety that I have to go through. He will not be the one that's feeling unhappiness, when I'm going through certain things.
Yeah.
Right? No, he will empathize,
Yeah.
as all our people that loves us do, but they will not be able to feel what we feel.
And you may not just feel that in the moment you're feeling it. It may carry on.
Yeah.
Like, and it may affect you also in
Yeah,
other
and
ways,
it's like sometimes it's like especially with time, some things like get compounded. Some effects actually
for
get
sure.
compounded,
Yeah.
which is why you talk about all the childhood trauma and all that stuff. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like, especially at the start, and then it just compounds
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah, so I think, especially with like, like managers, directors, and everything else, like, it's first of all, like, it's not their fault. They ask us to chase after our sales targets, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
and hit KPIs because that's their job. Like, that's the role, so they're doing a great job. I just think that if we have to hit MDRT or CUT because someone tells us to do so, and let's say if just nice our goal is also aligned with that, I think that's beautiful. But more often, let's say it's not,
Okay.
then trying to be a COT achiever, trying to become someone that wants to be a COT achiever it's just going to be very wear and tear and tiring.
Yeah.
Because you're just building up a facade.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah. You know, creating another avatar and then you have to live that avatar
Yeah.
in this world. They're not really
Yeah.
like yourself. You know?
True.
Yeah. So wow. That was great, Geri. Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.